It's 10:08.
It's
This
recording
is-
automatically, so.
We are, okay. This is an open meeting of the Berlin Historical Commission. We are being recorded and possibly imaged.
Really scary thought.
So attending today is Ellie,
Here.
Ellie Bergen, Barry Ager, Janet Woodward.
Here.
And Lucy Ayers.
Here.
Paul McKelk and Al Roseberry.
And June Miller.
And June Miller, right.
Oh, yeah.
So, Janet has quite a few sets of minutes, and she would like us to approve them. So we'll start with, why don't you just go through them for us?
Yeah, I did send these out a couple days ago, so probably you've seen them and we can just sort of, yes, no, no. So the first one is March 15th. How do you want to do this? So if we can get through it fairly, can I just
Just do
name
one
them?
at a time.
Okay.
3.18.
All right.
Yeah.
March 15th, and that one had no motion to accept, so it means that it wasn't recorded. Where we record them. April 5th, this is the series that all came one week after another one. April 5th, April 12th, May 10th, May 31st, and then popping back, I have a couple that were approved but not posted, so that's not your problem. I believe that does it. Yeah, I'm just scanning back to make sure. And I did not, wait a minute, where did I just leave off? April 12th, May 10th, and May 31st.
I gave you the wrong one.
Did I say that one?
Yep. Yeah.
I did, oh, good, all right. So, hopefully you've had a chance to read them and decide if there's anything that needs changing.
I did notice that in a couple of sets, it's, Kristen's name was, the E and the I was reversed.
I did it again. Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
Well, sometimes it's good, but sometimes, so you could check that.
I'll just check that.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think.
I was trying so hard, because that's.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
That's often the thing that I have to go back and look at.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Other people make that goof too, I've seen in
Yeah.
correspondence, so don't feel
Yeah,
isolated.
Yeah, good, okay. And then the only other thing that I wanted to, do you want to vote on that first, or?
Do you want to vote on each set of minutes?
I don't care.
If the only thing that you saw, and you really are critical when you look at them, is the name spelling.
Yep.
I wouldn't
So
think
just-
people would object to just approving, but.
So is there a motion to approve Janet's minutes?
I make a motion to approve Janet's minutes.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous.
And then the only other thing that I just wanted to comment on is I sent you, yesterday was it? The very nice write-up that June did on the summary of the Bullard House project discussions that we had on May 10th. And the main reason I included this is it was more thorough than what I was gonna put in my thing. And I thought she did a really good job sort of capturing the bathroom area leak repair, the septic tank installation, and the walk-in bulkhead.
Mhm.
So if you need a little more information on that, I highly
Yeah.
recommend it. Thank you, Judy, for doing that.
I also brought along Brian Simpson's email write-up that was after the energy audit.
Okay, that's coming after,
Okay.
But thank you for doing that.
After the well.
I wrote up my notes, but I didn't,
yeah.
Well, I printed it off because I thought, well,
very
we need to
good.
memorialize
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we need to get it. Okay, so we're good with minutes through the 5th, through the 31st of May. And I wrote minutes for June 5th. And I sent them out yesterday.
Thank you for doing that. I wasn't there. It was all right that we weren't all there, wasn't it?
No, I posted it because the three of us needed to be
Yes,
there, and
yes.
technically, that's a,
That's a meeting.
Yeah,
that's a
good.
meeting, so rather than get in any trouble, more trouble, I posted it for us, and you and Ellie didn't even need to come.
Yeah, I assumed that. Thank you.
Okay, did everybody see these minutes?
Yeah.
Yes.
They're very short.
That sounds good to me.
You want me to read them or no?
I don't care.
Go ahead and
Yeah,
read.
yeah, go ahead and read.
Sure.
The purpose of this meeting was to identify drainage-relevant Austin design plans, Berlin Town Hall Elevator Addition Project 2016, for printing in large format. These plans have been available as zip drive files. Hard copies have been requested to more easily view drainage details. Lucy Ayers volunteered to have large format copies made and to make them available for members and volunteers to review. Respectfully, June Miller, Chair.
Well, they were made available, but they are now out of our hands. Actually, Alan Roseberry, my nephew, Al's son, did them up for us for free. But these here, I do have a bill for the smaller ones.
That's good.
So, and it's 2.1A are the ones that we really want to look at.
Okay, we need to vote to.
Yeah, but I just wanted you to know.
Okay. So can we have a motion to approve the June 5th minutes?
So move.
Second?
Second,
Okay, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Unanimous.
So these were all unanimous, weren't they? So, do you want, I guess I have to put in about the name mistake. Does that have to go in there?
The what, Janet?
The mistake I made with the name, can I just
No.
cross it
No,
out and
no,
just correct it?
just
Yeah.
fix it.
Yeah, I'll
It's
just
okay.
fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't believe I did that. I tried so hard not to.
easy enough.
Do you want to keep this?
Yes, that would be great, thank you.
Okay. All right, so we have a little discussion here about reorganization. Barry, have you heard anything?
We're premature. We don't have, the appointments haven't come out yet, so
So
until
we
we
can wait?
reappoint. Yeah.
All right,
Wait,
till our-
how
till our
long? if
next
I-
regular meeting.
that would be July something. The
And-
second Friday in July. I can take
And
minutes
I was gonna say, I
today.
believe I said that this would be my last minute, so somebody else might wanna volunteer.
I can take the
Because
minutes.
otherwise, you know what happens, it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah, don't worry.
Okay.
I'll take them.
I know it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind taking them for you one more time.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right, so we don't have to do that today, so that's good.
All the appointments have been made to expire at the end of June now, so
Oh,
that's why they haven't, that's.
they did that last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I
Yes, they did,
forgot,
yeah.
I forgot. Okay,
So they aren't, the appointments aren't out yet.
all right.
June, did you want to talk at all about anything else related to appointments? As we had talked about the fact, or is
well-
that, you're gonna wait on that?
I-
You know, how
I
that would work?
I think everyone knows that Janet needs to be replaced as clerk.
Yeah.
She will still be on the commission, of course, but she does not want to be clerk. She wants to be free to do some other things for us. So if there are any, so you might think about volunteering to be clerk. We do, I did ask Kristen if it was acceptable to rotate taking minutes if we didn't really have someone dedicated to do that, and she said that would be fine.
The one thing I can speak up for in terms of rotating is that, two things. One is that the person who is the clerk, I don't know if other people here probably have been clerk, but your focus is always on what other people are saying.
Mhm.
And I always felt that I was left out of the discussions, which is understandable. You can't do all of that at the same time. And I was taking a lot of notes too, so that was one thing, and I can't remember what the other thing was. So that-
Okay, so we can go ahead to the Bullard House, and the first thing I had on the agenda was the well deconstruction, because Lucy has done some work on that.
Mhm.
So do you want to
I'm waiting to find out what we're gonna do, because Mike Sullivan, I have it right here, he has, given us a price of $2,000. not to exceed $2,000 basically is what it is. He thought it might be less than that, but we're not sure until he actually looks at it. I already have the well application for it, but we're just waiting because nobody, we need to find out if we approve this and if we're gonna go ahead and do it and when
Do
we
you
can
wanna
schedule it.
read it to us, or,
Yep, it says all right, estimate for, this is Mike Sullivan Company, Inc. in Bolton. Estimate for well abandonment of up to 200 feet well, 200 feet at $10 per foot is $2,000, and he's got the permit here. And what he would do is he would pull the pipes and fill the well with bentonite chips, which is the approved, I guess it's like clay, and that would fill it up so that it would remove all,
So we don't have a hole for something
so we
to
don't
fall
have a
in.
hole, exactly, yeah. So that's basically it. Very-
How long does it take? They can do it in one day?
Yeah. Sorry. Why do people call me here? Nobody calls me at home.
I like music. It's really nice.
All right. So that's it. All we have to do is to give him the okay to do it, and he would come and do it.
okay.
What he will have to do is to remove the top of it, and what it looks like, we took a good look at it. It looks like it's covered with some kind of wood, but it's got some metal bars, holding up that wood. And it looks like, what it looks like is like a cement well house that's got the pipes going in there, and I'm presuming that they're here.
That's okay. I just wanted to get a little info.
You know,
to put in.
just, it's gonna take them a little while to figure out just how deep it is, cause you can't tell exactly. So,
And there's another issue with that little house that had pipes going into the,
that's
Yeah.
it, yeah, we mentioned that, and that was just a pump, as Barry said, correct?
At the corner of the back corner of the house, that's all, okay.
Just a
The
pump.
pump used to be in that space. Oh, okay.
Okay.
So there's nothing to decommission there, it's just get rid of it.
just get rid of it, yeah.
And get rid of the pipe that goes from there out to the well.
Yeah.
Some of which has already been destroyed. Yep.
Which
The
is,
survey got disrupted when he did the test holes.
Yeah.
but that is important for him to take the pipes out, because otherwise it would be a conduit for water to get in.
Yeah,
Sure.
So, there we go, that's it.
So Benton, where does the bentonite go besides in the well itself?
Into the well itself.
And that's all? Nothing with the pipes?
Nope, nothing with the pipes come out.
And typically, they fill the well with bentonite, then they cut off any remaining steel casing that's up above and pour a little concrete on top of that.
standard.
Yeah.
Pretty much standard, yeah.
Yeah. He said he could do it very quickly, it's just we have to give him the go-ahead.
Okay,
And this is Mike Sullivan, right?
Mike Sullivan, yeah.
so,
Well, I move to approve going forward with the well decommissioning.
Second.
To approve going forward
So I'll give him a call.
With the well decommissioning.
with well
Decommissioning.
decommissioning, yeah.
So I'll give him a call.
Do we need to be there while he's working on it, or does he not want anybody around?
No, I'm gonna be there for sure.
yeah, I'd like
And
to see if there's anything else in the ground.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, pipes aren't too interesting, but sometimes there's something else.
There could be,
Something gets turned up.
So far, we haven't had anything exciting, but,
Gold,
Yeah,
yeah.
don't we wish?
that would solve our problems.
So it's been moved and
teaspoons.
seconded, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye, okay, unanimous.
And the-
Janet?
And the second came from
Barry.
Barry.
Okay.
So I will stop at the, what office is it? The building inspector's office to drop this well application and make sure that it's, the one that we need. And I will give him a call and tell him to go ahead and
Okay.
schedule it whenever he
Yeah.
can.
Yep, and just let me know, and I'll try to be there and
Yeah.
hunt for artifacts. You have a question, Barry?
Isn't that the Board of Health that you get that from, not the building inspector? Yeah.
Okay. Board of Health.
They're in the same room, but the point is, it's
Give him,
not, it's a Board of Health thing,
goes to,
yeah.
And is that the local Board
Well,
of Health?
Bill Brooking.
Go through Bill Brookings,
Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
okay.
We talk about the Board of Health sometimes, and I'm never sure if we're talking about the regional or.
No.
we always-
It starts local, but
Yeah,
Neshoba is hired by the town to provide us with the technical backup that local elected members probably don't have. So,
Okay.
you know, it's
So when I write.
basically the same shoe, it
Yeah.
just,
Just
there is
Bill-
a
so just
transition.
Booking.
So just put Board of Health.
It's Board of Health is fine.
We don't care which one it
The
was.
right foot and the left foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
Yeah.
you have been
Yeah, thanks.
served.
Yeah, great.
thanks.
Make 'em sign the
Thanks.
paper, they'll be good.
We have a
Yeah.
job for you.
That's the big one.
Receipt
Hey,
acknowledged.
Lucy.
Do not do that, please.
Okay,
Do we want a copy of it?
yeah, if we could,
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a copy of
all
that.
right, so
Proceed
Ellie
and
and
do whatever.
Janet, do you wanna talk about your Mass Save audit?
Yeah, we talked about it a
Kelly's
little
gonna-
bit at the last meeting, but,
Yep.
Brian went through the house. We talked about windows. He said it's not really worth the expenditure to replace the windows for what it would cost to have kind of historically accurate windows. He said 85% of your savings is gonna be, the insulation in the walls. They will do, cellulose blown-in insulation going from the outside, taking off, a clapboard strategically to put it in. They will cover 75% of the cost
Nice.
for doing that. We have up to 2 years to use this. So he said that the program isn't going to disappear. So if we don't get everything done within the 2 years, we can schedule another energy audit and kind of renew our
Get more done.
options. Yep.
Is-
He did talk about.
Do they only, deal with that kind of insulation?
That's what he talked about, and that's what he's quoted us here. We do need to have, they would install a vapor barrier in the cellar, across the ground.
Yeah, but that's part of our other,
Yeah.
yeah.
But they would require it, to do the work. He said that, he noticed some, mold growing on the rafters upstairs. He said that the attic needs ventilation.
More than it already has.
I thought, oh, there already is, it's not really a big deal. And I don't know how much of that is also due to the leak, the roof leak, so, you know, there's so many issues that it's hard to tell what's causing what sometimes.
Would they be able to do the ventilation?
That is not part of this quote, so I'm thinking not.
Well, I can tell you that they do
They
that.
do
You
do
might,
that?
you might have to reach out and be
And get
specific with them, but yeah.
Get them to do it.
Yeah.
He did say
Yeah,
that
but
there
when they
was,
put the new roof on, don't they just cut the slot up top and just go?
Well, that new roof has already been done, so I don't know if that's in place or not.
Oh, okay.
he did say that
Sometimes they
there
put the
is,
little turbines.
Yeah.
asbestos
They didn't
up
have that
in the
17,
attic.
20.
Yeah, you can see it.
And he said, that he would recommend just sealing it off,
Dealing with what?
asbestos
Oh,
in the attic.
yeah, this one little area.
They can't have any workmen work up there.
And when he said
With
sealing
it.
it off, my sense was he was talking about sealing off the
How much
space,
asbestos is up there?
not necessarily.
How
seal-
much is there?
One, 4x8 piece of material that's got
Well,
old
4x8.
insulation on top of
4x8.
it. The rest of
He
it all
said
left
that-
before.
They can take care of that.
He was picking up crumbles.
Yeah,
I know, it's over the back bedroom, and there's one section of ceiling that's still there, and there's some of that stuff on top of it.
Well, he just reached up and.
Yeah,
yeah, you
that.
can
yeah.
see it.
It's
But
like,
that's the only place where there is any that I know
But
of.
they can't work on it with that
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Well, if it's only 4x8, they can.
No, he said no, but he said it would be okay if you sealed it off.
Yeah,
And what else?
And my sense, Ellie, was sealing off the insulation itself, or sealing off the attic, that was not.
Sealing off the attic.
that
Sealing off
is-
the attic, yeah.
Just
No.
so that people wouldn't get up there to stir it up.
That was his suggestion. We didn't converse about it, so he
Yeah.
might change his mind.
He is just saying what their rules would be,
Yeah.
that they
Yeah.
can't have workmen
Yeah,
in an area with asbestos. The asbestos itself is fine as long as it's stagnant, but if people are up there, it gets stirred up, and once it gets in the air, that's what causes the problem.
of course.
So they can't have workmen with the asbestos there as it is.
So this
We
is
have to seal it.
this is the back bedroom.
Yeah, the attic. And the other thing he said was, for the blown-in insulation, we'd have to do all of the patching of the inside walls before they can do
Yeah.
that. But that's kind of
Yeah.
obvious.
Would you
Was there
feel
anything
comfortable
else?
asking them about a mineral wool?
A what?
Mineral wool.
Oh,
If they do any other, I mean, it's not likely they would do any other kind of insulation, but we could ask.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, do you have any views on that?
Hmm?
Isn't the mineral wool what you put in 19 Carter?
No, we used, cellulose.
Oh,
blown
you
in.
did?
Yeah, blown-in cellulose. I mean, that's pretty standard today.
Okay.
we should ask him specifically about those things too.
No, that's all right.
Yeah. If one's better than the other.
Some of the building has got insulation in it already, but the front of the house and some of the old part in the front never got any.
It's clear that the insulation is the real gift from,
Yeah, I mean,
Mass Save,
they do
because it's
have-
almost the whole cost gets covered,
They
so.
do have window options, but they're not going to be historically accurate. Not that we have to really worry about, I mean, there's so many changes in that house, but I don't think we really wanna put in vinyl windows.
No.
And they did say that, we'd have to have an electrician verify that there's no, knob and tube wiring, active knob and tube wiring
Mhm.
before they did
Yeah.
the blown-in insulation.
So can the vapor barrier, how would that tie in with what?
Yeah, that's part of the foundation work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna take
that's-
care of that a different way.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
don't think we wanna have them do that.
No.
Their approach, because I had it done in my house, is they basically assume that you're not gonna be using the basement, and they just cover it with polyethylene sheathing, and that's not gonna be the case here.
Mhm.
That's,
No.
that won't
Yeah,
work,
won't be
so,
appropriate.
No.
yeah.
Not even in the crawl space?
Maybe in the crawl space,
Well,
but that's,
Well, that's
it's a
part of the
limited area.
plan anyway.
Is it?
Some of
Okay.
those spaces already have it.
Yeah, he saw in the bathroom that it was already there, and he said, that's great, but we need to do the cellar.
Okay,
Good information, Ellie.
yeah.
Ellie, did you mention?
And Janet.
Yeah, I think you did. You mentioned that we can come back another year and another year.
Yeah,
In 2
they
in
said
2
that
years.
you
Is it
could
2 years?
have
Yeah.
it done every 2 years, so
Yeah.
this is good for 2 years, and if we don't get it all wrapped up, we can have another audit and
Yeah.
start the process over again.
They're really encouraging us
Yeah. How-
to do
how-
that, yeah.
How would you want to approach patching the walls?
I don't know if you're really there for that discussion yet, until you really have a
Yeah.
pretty good idea of how you're gonna lay out the interior and
Yeah.
what room is gonna do what. That comes first. Patching, because in some cases you may be removing large chunks of wall just for wiring purposes or
Mhm.
whatever. I mean, you're putting the
Yeah.
cart in front of the horse, I think.
Yeah,
You
well,
should
which is
spend
why I
time on
asked
that.
how long this was good for, 'cause I
Right.
thought, I don't know
Yeah.
that we're gonna have it done all before our time expires. He said, don't worry about it.
Yeah, we've got time for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting to
We
the
got a
point
lot
where
of
it's
things
almost
ahead of
worth it
this.
to just got the whole place and be done with it.
Mhm.
Be way ahead of the game.
Well,
Then you know where everything is and where your problems are and take care of it.
I missed the first part of what you just said.
He's talking about gutting the whole interior so you know what you have.
Oh, yeah,
You can make whatever necessary repairs, maybe there's some missing framing, who knows?
The whole interior of the house, are you talking? Oh,
Yeah, you take all the plaster, sheet rock, plaster, everything out, and then you know what you got.
but not the structure of the.
No, not the
building.
structure,
Okay.
just
Oh, okay.
No.
the internal skins.
Interior.
I was envisioning
No.
an empty space. Okay,
The-
not what you
No,
said.
because
Just the
then it'd fall
internal,
down.
the
Yeah.
internal skins, particularly on the exterior walls, because that's
Yes.
what you wanna
Actually, some
insulate.
of them could come down, couldn't they? But anyways,
Yeah, they did say, he did say, you're not gonna do any insulation on the inside walls, you're not worrying about soundproofing, and that would be the only reason that you would do insulation on
Right.
the inside walls.
yeah, just the
Yeah,
exterior.
Yeah, he really spoke on that quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
you don't need to do the interior.
so we have a few years to work on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good thing is, we know that,
Mm.
there's options, and if you wanna go with the cellulose, there's a big incentive to do it
Yeah.
through them.
Well, if we get through some of these things that we're working on now, then we can start focusing on it next year.
Yeah.
And still be within that range.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, we need to review our pending projects, and,
We've got lots of those.
yeah, and the most nettlesome is the Hancock proposal and how it, is affected by what we see with the Austin Design. And Kristen sent me an email, she said she had talked to you.
Yep.
What is your
I'll
feeling?
I'll give you an update on that.
Okay,
I'm gonna back it up a little bit, just for a frame of reference. There was a committee that was involved, and I think June and Barry, worked with Austin Design, and the 1870 committee, Evie Dewick, Bob McTagg, Pat Smith. That committee is should be reappointed at the next select board meeting, because they wanna see the 1870 start to get used again, because it's been really kinda lying dormant. Kristen, transitional TA, so she wasn't aware of a number of things that Austin Design actually has, drainage plans and so forth. As of, I had a meeting with Evie Dewick and Kristen yesterday, Hancock is out of the picture. They're no longer involved. Whatever money's been spent is short money, forget about it, move on. $1,200. Austin Design has been contacted, they're more than willing to get back involved, because they already have the significant data. And if you were to bring Hancock or anybody else in, they're gonna start from square one. They're not gonna hang their hat on what some other company said.
No, that was the
So
problem
there's,
we were
there's
having.
an immediate money saving, undetermined, but Tom Chalmers, who was involved in the 1870, is working on the Goff House in Boylston. So he's been contacted, and he's more than willing to get back involved.
Okay.
And with all that said, the very first thing, before they really start doing anything, the first thing that has to happen is the Bullard House septic tank has to be put in. Because that is the first domino. That could change existing plans.
That's right.
A foot, 5 feet, who knows? Maybe not at all. But
Yeah.
until that tank is in place, they really can't go back and do any design work. But Kristen was pretty pleased, because frankly, and she admitted, she was feeling a little lost. Hancock, Austin Design, I mean, anybody would. So this kind of simplifies her path,
Yeah.
or her understanding of things, which should make it easier for you folks to move forward. How money is spent should be a little clearer. Complete Streets still may have some, they will have some interaction, but they're kind of on the back burner too. I mean, the 1870 and Bullet House are the primary projects. And whatever happens there, there'll be a Complete Streets, what's the word I want? But they're gonna have to go to the general store, First Parish, you folks, 19 Carter, the library, to get input about what people who live and work in the center really think needs to happen. It's not like you call up an engineer and say, design complete streets for us without any input. So, it seems like a step backward, but it isn't. It's really 2 steps forward in terms of getting it done right the first time. So, to get back to it, Austin Design is gonna be back on board. Kristen was gonna call him yesterday or today, excuse me, and talk to Tom Chalmers.
How do you spell his name?
I believe it's Chalmers.
Yep.
Chalmers.
Chalmers.
Chalmers, yes.
Chalmers, yeah.
And
So
Tom, remind me who Tom is. Tom is.
He's an architect for Austin Associates. So, it really is now, okay, Paul Wheeler has to put the tank in, and then the next step can happen.
Okay,
And
so
that's been the situation really right along.
So I've already contacted Paul, and I said, Paul, please give us an estimate, are you still on for the end of June? And, he answered me, yes, he was.
I'm curious.
And I told him, no pressure, but we're counting on you to get this thing going,
But it
because
had to be-
It's your first.
that's right.
And we all
No
bought guns.
pressure.
Yeah.
And we all bought-
I'm curious whether, I don't get in on everything. How did this all come to pass? How do you get something like this to, this is a bit of a change.
Okay,
I'm just curious how that all happened.
Well,
from my
You know what?
perspective, I've talked to 1870 people, I've talked to
Okay,
Kristen,
I'm
I've met with you folks, and it just seems to me there was a lot of this. So it's like, whoa, put the brakes on. I told Kristen, I took it upon myself just to tell her a week or so ago, stop everything. Because we gotta get the
Yeah.
dust settled and find out who's where and what's what. And then got the blown up plans, which, I said you really need to have, and we will need to have them. And then it became more clearer, and Kristen was also getting a little concerned with Hancock's lack of response on a couple
I
occasions.
told, I told
Well, they were
them.
being so frustrating that they didn't wanna look at anything that had been done
Well, they made
before.
they made some goofs that if they were paying attention to they shouldn't have made. Yeah.
So I'll ask one more quick question. These are big questions I'm asking, because I don't understand the system as well as some of you guys do. So essentially, Kristen is the one that would approve the new idea that you're talking about. I mean, it's not a new idea, but the
Well,
idea that you're talking about.
just-
How does that
We're
happen?
we're going back to the plans that were made at the time the town hall project was done.
Okay.
I've always thought that we had plenty of data then, and that
Yeah.
this whole thing has gotten nuts, where somebody wanted it done all over again. And once we got all of these plans out, and people started really looking at the right plans, the need for somebody new is not there.
Yeah, clarity started
Yeah.
to come to the surface. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no right or wrong on Kristen or anybody else's part. It's just, it was too many
Too many
balls
fingers in the
up
pie.
in the air,
Mhm.
and, you
The
gotta
other-
start eliminating them one by one to find out really what's
Yeah.
what.
And the other thing too, that when you look at these plans, the septic has to be 10 feet away from the house. And with these plans here that Austin had done back in 2015, 2016, the ramp goes right over, it's within 10 feet of the house. So the septic would have to go underneath. And that's not optional at all. There's no, that's not the way you want it, because if you need to get to the septic, you need to.
Yeah, and not,
And
sorry,
pushing
but
into-
you don't even have to spend any time talking about that now till the tank goes in
Yeah.
and Austin gets back involved, because they're gonna take some new measurements, and, a lot of their work is probably gonna stay the same, but if that wall has to move, then the dry wells are gonna have to move a little bit, and,
Yeah.
there's just those subtle changes. Some might not be so subtle, but the first thing is the tank goes in, then Austin comes back out and refigures the lay of the land. that's all.
It was months ago, I don't know how many months, but when I talked to Pat and Evie about whether they had these plans, you know, copies, and I eventually just wrote to Tom, and he sent me, you know, the electronic
In
versions.
the flash, yeah.
But I will give Evie credit that she said immediately, there is a lot of drainage information on those plans.
Mm.
Make sure that you have a look. So I thank her for tipping us off.
Well, simply getting the big copies so that they can be placed in front of people makes a big difference. And they're looking at the right plan.
And right now, Kristen has those plans.
Okay.
And this, keep in mind that this is, the parking lot project is really a town project as opposed to ours.
Right,
Exactly.
We're a player in it, but
Yeah,
it's really
yeah.
there, and the funding for it is also,
yeah,
gonna be largely from a different direction, so.
yeah. And that's what,
Historical's a player, but also the first domino.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get the septic system.
So there's
figured out.
actually two things. One, we need to get the well decommissioned and the septic
Yeah.
in.
okay.
So
So
we're
this-
working on
yeah.
that.
It feels good, guys, thank you so, so much.
Yeah, so Janet, this is different. This project is different because it doesn't just involve us,
Yeah.
okay? So that's why Kristen is so heavily involved,
Yeah, yeah.
okay?
Is
Thank you.
the well project can proceed now, right?
As long, we haven't approved the money yet.
We've got to deal with that then.
If we approve the money, then I'll tell them we've got, you know, we're ready to go.
Do we know which money we're gonna use for that?
Well, if it follows in the septic category, it would come out of CPA 22.
Okay,
So I'm just going to go that route
okay.
and
I
not
move
worry
that
about it. Yeah,
we plan to finance it through that.
yeah, that's right.
So we don't need to take a vote on it? Is that what
Yes.
you're
We
saying?
voted.
Well,
Okay.
We voted to proceed.
we voted
Alright.
to proceed and,
Okay,
That
just making
involves
sure the
money.
funds.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Do we
I
do-
think that we should go back and specifically say it's to be funded through Article whatever.
CPA 22.
Do we
the
need a,
CPA funding.
Yeah, we need another one.
Okay, so.
another vote then? at this
I
point?
move to, you want to amend the vote, or,
Or simply add that
okay,
it's to be funded that way.
okay. I move to add to our approval of the well deconstruction
All right,
that we are funding through CPA Article 22.
Yeah.
Second.
through CPA Article 22.
Yeah,
Yeah.
May 22. Town meeting, May 22.
Wait
Okay,
a
all
minute,
those
wait a
in
minute.
favor?
Aye.
All right,
Aye.
What-
Do we need
hang
to,
on, hang on, I need to write this down right. What did you just tack on about Article
The
I
C-
got as far as funding through CPA, Article 22, what did you just add on there?
That's it.
I move to add on to the approval of the well deconstruction, funding from CPA Article 22.
Okay, so what I have, I move to add to our approve of the well deconstruction,
funding the well deconstruction,
From CPA.
funding it from the CPA article.
all right, so say, Barry, say this to me.
We already voted to do it. Now we need to vote
Okay,
how it's
but
going to be funded.
I'm a stickler, that's the one thing
know.
I'm a stickler for, is if you make a motion, it goes down in your words.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not
Well,
quite
he-
stating the words, so let's
Yeah.
try one more time. Who wants to say?
Okay, I move
Okay.
to
add to.
add
Mm-hmm,
to the approval of the well deconstruction,
mm-hmm,
funding
okay, funding,
from Article 22, CPA Article 22,
mm-hmm.
and that's it.
Oh, good, thank you. I don't mean to be sort of cantankerous, but that's one thing I was taught when I was in 4-H. Always
Okay.
write it down the way they
So,
said it.
so I moved, and Ellie, did you second?
I did.
Lucy seconded, okay. And unanimously approved. Okay.
Good, thank you.
Does Kristen need to be in on that contract?
No. Well, it goes to CPA. That's how I have to move it forward. But,
I'll make copies for you so that you can give
yeah,
them to her.
but I gave, almost 2 weeks ago, after our last meeting, our May 31st meeting, I gave her a packet, and it included the proposals that we had already, and that we had voted to approve them, not the wellhead, because, not the,
Well,
not the bulkhead, because but I told her we needed, to go forward with procurement, yeah.
okay, great, we're good.
Okay, so are we clear about why we're going forward with Austin and,
Yep.
okay. So the next proposal would be, and we've already talked about this, is the septic. And Lucy's going to just tell Paul that we need to go forward as quickly as possible because he's the first in the chain of events.
I've already done that.
Yeah,
But I
okay.
will remind him.
Okay.
And me before you.
Yeah, I know. Yes, it's been a group
Yes,
joint
it
effort, I
definitely
know.
has. Yeah.
Okay, and I don't think there's any more to be said on the leak repair. Because he
September.
can't come until September.
Yes, and he did verify that he would come in September.
Okay.
I said I would do something with that. I've been scrounging around. I've come up with a piece of wide aluminum flashing that I'm gonna temporarily put in and see if that helps mitigate the leak.
Okay. Is there anything we could do inside? Not really, just sop up the puddle, I guess.
I was gonna say, it's
Well, the big thing is, if there's a habitual spot, that we can try to catch it so it won't be getting the structural stuff wet.
Okay.
Yeah, one place to look would be in the ceiling of the second floor and see if it's dripping down in one particular spot and put some kind of container there just to
There's nothing coming on
catch
the
it.
second floor, it's on the first floor.
But it has to come through
What's it,
the roof structure above.
Through the attic, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
that's
to
what,
look.
yeah, something in the attic to catch it.
okay. The next thing would be the bulkhead. I don't think we actually agreed to,
What we agreed to on the bulkhead was that, we were going to,
we need
Needed-
Paul,
yes.
I've started working on
Yeah.
some specs, but I don't have them.
okay,
So that's what
Because
it-
we're gonna use this as the basic boilerplate with some
The scope.
detail and
Yeah.
explanation.
okay.
And then we can put it out to bid. You had mentioned something about, 1/3 deposit is requested from the town, but you were gonna work with them to try and figure something out so that they could get.
Well, Paul suggested the last time we met, that perhaps after that amount of money, after the work that was done, that would represent about 1/3, that we could be billed because he actually had delivered
Yeah.
on part of the project, so,
And all of this
Yeah.
is assuming that you do business with this particular
person,
company and
yeah.
individual.
Yeah.
I would think he'd be willing to work, I don't know, but, you sit down and talk to him and say, show up for a few days the first week, give us a bill, we'll get it paid in so many days, and it's equivalent to 1/3 or whatever.
cause it takes time to, when I submit the bill.
But it's a town project and the money is appropriated and
Right.
available.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the other thing, is
Yeah.
they need to know that the money's
Right, yeah,
available. so when they
spell
bill,
all
it
that
can be
out to
paid.
him,
Good
because
to
that'll
know.
make him feel warm
Yeah.
and fuzzy.
Yeah.
And that, we're considering that part of the foundation work, which is a different CPA article.
Yes.
Okay, that's Article 9, and that was the first one we ever had in '21, in the fall of '21. So, so Paul will work on that, so that we have a visual, and some dimensions.
Mhm. One of the things that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna contact, is it Steve Cormier?
Yeah.
I'm gonna contact Steve and just tell him that we are still in the planning phases, we're not quite ready to go ahead, but we are, we're going ahead with the project, and I'll tell him now about the money already being appropriated and approved. I
We'll
think
be in
that's
touch
helpful.
shortly.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he
But we do need
realizes-
to, we need to advertise
yeah.
it too, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
realizes that we can't just go ahead with him without procurement.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
Do you have his proposal there? Is there a phone number?
I don't, but I have his phone number.
Okay.
Okay, the other pending project is TF Moran, and we're waiting to remediate drainage for the upper site before we go forward.
Yeah.
And, I haven't really, I mean, I've, intimated that when I wrote to him and he replied to us. This is over a month ago. So I will try to confirm that we just are waiting for the other work to happen. Part of his reply was considering having one contractor do the actual work on the ground that would remediate the drainage and do our drainage foundation work.
I don't know how much of
He's-
that's gonna be part of the parking lot project.
Well, you could have the same contractor.
Yeah, but I mean, some of that may just turn out to be part of the parking lot project.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's, I didn't really say that, but when I talk about the overall drainage remediation, that's beyond our little CPA fund for the foundation.
You're talking about the dry wells here and
Yeah,
some of
the
that
things
stuff.
that we observed on the plans.
Yeah.
And 'cause there's more to it than that because of the placement of the features.
Right here, you have to share with me, because these
Yeah.
are two-way. We didn't need these.
So I will, just clue, Tom Lamb, who is the principal engineer at TF Moran, that we are facing a more comprehensive,
So you can have it.
project that affects us.
Mhm.
Project on the site,
Yep.
and on the whole
Yep,
site, so.
yep. Okay, are there any other projects I've forgotten? I don't think so, 'cause I wrote them all down.
I think that's
I
it.
thought I wrote them all down. So, the historical collection, I wanted to, just let you, well, two things. I wanted to let you know that Karen, our, work-off employee that helps Barry with cataloging, and preserving what's our huge backlog of stuff. She will continue on. She won't be here this summer because she and her granddaughter do things together in the summer, which is very nice, so we won't see her for a while. The other part is, I'm in communication with the attorney of the day for the State Ethics Commission to find out if there is conflict of interest with having Marty do work-off, which we're in need of having all our digital files organized. And there could be someone else that could do that just as well. I don't know who it would be, but he is willing to do it. But I'm still waiting for an answer. I
I
don't
would-
have an answer yet about that.
I would think if you recuse yourself from it and you don't have anything
Well,
to
it
say
doesn't,
about it.
I mean, Barry's the custodian, so he's the person who signs off on the number of hours.
Mhm.
And that's the financial remuneration that's involved, is this credit toward your real estate taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand that.
Yeah,
But if you do it through the Historical Society and June's not a part of that, because it's recusing yourself.
yes, but
And not
work
voting.
off doesn't have anything to do with the society.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, because it's work off, it's gotta be under the commission.
from the
Yeah.
commission.
So if it doesn't fly, it doesn't fly. I've done the best I can to try to explain to them the limitations of it. It's 125 hours a year, a fiscal year,
Yeah,
that the supervisor is a different person
Yeah.
from me. That, what else?
Well, the action on actually doing it should be done by somebody else on the commission, and you should recuse yourself from any votes that relate to it.
Yeah.
and probably any conversations, that would probably be the,
Yeah,
Well, Kristen has asked me to go through them. They'll have to send some kind of a letter if they
well,
approve it.
well, this is because June is the one that has the conflict, so she's the one that's
Yeah.
gotta contact them about it.
all right,
That's how I introduced
Okay.
myself, is that
Yeah.
it was my conflict of interest.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
that's fine.
Excuse me, but if we're done with construction,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so,
Yeah.
unless
Yeah.
you have.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you
right,
very
thank you,
much.
guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
guys.
We do appreciate it immensely.
That's for sure.
On a related note, Tim Wheeler also asked me to bring up the fact that we had planned to spend the remaining $2,000 on a project that looks like it doesn't really fit CPA
That's right.
guidelines. So we need to kind of think up another,
Which thing is that?
that we were going to photograph some of the.
Oh, photograph more artifacts?
Yeah, and that doesn't work with the CPA
Right.
Rules.
rules, yeah, so,
Well, that was one of the chief reasons we appropriated the money in the first place.
yes, but now that we know the rules,
Oh, okay.
after that
Yeah.
seminar.
The
that-
seminar was good.
Oh, okay.
It was very good.
All right, yeah, because we're creating something that isn't.
Yeah, you can preserve something that already exists, but you're not supposed to spend it on something that's
Recreating.
yeah, so, it's like, if you have something in old, VCR and you wanna put it on the web, then you could, do something like that.
Wow, that's a
but-
fine line then, isn't it? Because the artifacts already exist, we just wanna preserve them? Or, no, it
Well, we
Yeah.
wanna make them accessible.
Well, that was the
Yeah.
purpose of this in the first place, was to be able to get images we could put on the web.
Yes, but when the CPA, he
The man
advisor,
who
director.
Stewart,
Yeah.
yeah,
Stewart.
Stewart, yeah.
Something.
He said,
Okay.
you can't spend it for doing something new, but if you have something in existence that you want to preserve or put into a new format, you could use the money for that, but you can't use it to.
Take
Yeah.
pictures.
Yeah, I guess I have an argument against that, but I accept,
But the thing is that it is available now, not all of it, but most of it is available.
Yeah, he said basically that if you spent it already on something inappropriate and no one's really called you on it, that
Yeah.
it's too late.
it's too late.
Mhm.
But we don't want to,
Yeah, we have
now that we know,
Yeah.
we don't want to make that mistake again.
We need to go back and look at, again, the article that was voted, and compare it with this rule. And then, maybe we turn the money back and put in a new application for
For something
a
else.
different thing,
Yeah.
yeah.
That is an option.
That's
You
a-
mean the remaining 2,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, that may be what we'll end up doing, but because we may have ourselves walled in by what was voted in the article.
Okay,
So, but we'll go back and look at that, and it may be that we'll
Wow.
end up turning it back and at the same time put in an application for something else that's related or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, well, I did ask Tim quite a while ago, if we could repurpose the money. And he said, well, I think now he would allow, we have a good argument for doing that, because we can't use it the way it was intended. But I think they would like to discourage that, normally.
Well, I think that there's been several, and it's been, I think, with recreation, you know, where they've had a project and then it's died and they've basically turned the money back.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
No,
And, those other things.
That's true,
that-
we could just,
Well, what if we wanted to have the pictures restored?
that's huge money, it's more than $2,000, I think. But,
Some of the pictures restored.
yeah, you could pick some.
Some
I
of
suppose.
what pictures restored?
Well, some of, don't
The
you have?
Memorial Hall.
Well, that's a different project.
Well, it's a different project, but
But
it's,
if you repurpose them, if you ask to repurpose the money,
Yeah.
yeah.
but I think
That's
for
going
a
back to
clean
town
process,
meeting.
you turn it back and then you
What's the difference?
apply.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
They
I
apply.
think CPA would govern, how we repurposed it.
Mhm.
I don't,
Well, just find out if we can repurpose it. If we can, fine. If we can't,
If
then
we
we'll
can
go the other
repurpose
way.
it under the article as it was voted, then we can do that.
Yeah,
But if not, then,
then we'll just turn it back.
then you let it go back and make a new
yeah,
application.
it's pretty specific to high priority artifacts,
Yes.
yeah, so it's not likely.
But there
we
was
can-
also another aspect of it that we haven't necessarily accomplished or spent money on, and we could consider that too,
What's that aspect?
which is
Well-
the listing books.
Yeah, well, we've done it,
But that's not really something that I think is in a form that I would prefer to put up to the public.
So we have a few questions to
I mean, they're all,
resolve.
it's handwritten stuff, and it could produce more confusion than others, so I don't know,
Okay.
we'll think about that and see whether there's something we can do
Yeah.
within the article as we voted it, and if not, we can do otherwise.
Yeah.
okay, does anybody know, anybody else who would you have to be a resident of Berlin to get the credit. You have to own property to get the credit on.
Yeah,
Who would undertake the work that Marty would do if,
we could certainly put that out and ask questions.
yeah.
I mean, there's a, you know,
What happens with the work-off is they don't solicit.
yeah.
So unless there's a good match or even a vague match that they'll try to,
Mhm. Yeah,
figure out.
I'm sure there's gotta be someone out there.
So we would have to know, we would have to ask that person if he or she were interested, and,
Is that something we could put out on Facebook, Berlin?
I don't think so.
I would not do that,
No,
but we could be looking for somebody who
it's,
could set up and do studio photography.
well, this isn't set, this is, what needs to happen is that all our digital files need to be organized.
Oh, yeah, okay,
That's what I want.
yeah.
I shouldn't say I want, but,
Well, you
that's
can.
what needs to be done. I'm just putting it out there that that's our need. And, that's what I think we should ask for.
Okay.
So our next, unless there's any more questions, I'll look at the article. It's Article 9 from November 21.
Yeah,
We'll look at the wording, but I think it's pretty specific.
yeah,
And that we would just probably turn the money back. And that's about it, I guess. Karen, we'll see Karen later. So demolition delay, does anybody have anything
I don't have anything new, and I haven't seen anything new coming across the,
Where do we stand with, what's her name? I can't remember her name all of a sudden. You know who I
The
mean.
owner, yeah.
Yeah,
of-
Annie?
Yeah,
Annie.
Annie Melvin.
Annie, thank you, I couldn't
Melvin.
catch that.
Yeah, it's Meldon, that's another thing you wanna correct the spelling of is
Yeah, I didn't have a spelling on
Yeah,
that, so I
yeah.
just made it up. What is the correct spelling?
Melden. I think it's instead of T, it's D, yeah. I should have written down my little,
Yeah, that sounds right.
we're just about at the end of the 6 months now on that one, anyway.
I thought we were past it.
we are past it.
So is our opportunity
I think we
to-
are now. We
Mhm.
weren't a few days ago, but we are now.
Does that mean that our opportunity to get things or is sort of
Yeah,
done?
that's pretty well shot for time.
I thought it was May 20th.
You had mentioned that.
Maybe it was, I don't know. Right
Yeah.
now, I don't know.
Yeah, we've been past the 6 months for quite a while, I think.
There haven't been any new things lately that I've seen, but I also haven't gone looking. So sometimes there's things that they don't.
Has anybody officially told her that they now are free to?
I don't know, I should talk to, I'll try to talk to
Yeah.
the building commissioner on it.
I did get a message from Walter Bickford. He wanted to attend today because he really has thoughts about preserving the pole barn. And I pointed out to him that the article that was passed at town meeting, and that it was, that we couldn't really advocate for that when there was no interest at town meeting to
To save it.
save it.
He spoke up at town meeting about it, but they.
He did?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they still voted it through, so
They
I
voted
don't
it
know.
through. Yeah, so, he had an appointment this morning, so he couldn't attend today, but he would have liked to talk to us about it. But I don't believe there's much we can,
Well, there didn't seem to be any interest at town meeting, and he did speak about it at
he
town
did,
meeting.
Yeah.
okay.
He was, at the end of his talk, he said, maybe I should make a motion to take this separately, or something like that. Well, I'll just say, vote it down. Vote down the whole article. And nobody else said another word about it.
Yeah.
So my answer is, forget it. When there is a building permit to demolish it, that will come before us. And my view is we can reasonably say, town meeting voted to do it. There was very little opposition.
you know, knock on their door and get it, and a lot of them already have a listing in the schools. That's one of the things that I found out, is that they have listings in the schools of the phones that for people, and that's what happened the last time that it was done.
Well, and that also, that just adds to the problem I was talking about, which is this turnover. People are moving in, people are moving out, and they become antiquated
Yeah, so the
more
phone.
quickly than they used to.
But it used to be done every 2 years, if
Mhm.
you remember. But, you know, it's not worth doing the phones
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
individuals, for
Yeah, I
families
think we-
anymore. I think the business directory is the only way to go, if we wanna do it. And that's maybe something that the Historical Society.
And if you give it out, you still have your circulation. If you
And
give
is
it
this-
away, you don't have to worry about whether
Probably
it's gonna
better, yeah.
whether it's
You're-
gonna get to a lot of people.
You know, Barry, and I think I finally figured out what you mean. If we get people to advertise, and they pay for the advertising, and then we give it out, yes, that would help a lot.
It means the distribution is still, your numbers of distribution can be
Yeah.
up there.
And then you don't have to worry
Well,
about
your-
selling it.
And these are just-
Your ads need to pay for the printing.
That's
Are
it.
these just residents that we're talking about?
Businesses,
Businesses?
business
Businesses.
directory.
But how broad do we go for
Well,
the businesses?
As I said.
As
a
broad
little-
as we can sell.
You know, and that's the thing, I
So
mean.
they're not just Berlin people?
No,
Okay.
no, and surrounding towns,
Mhm,
because
mhm.
how often do we go to, you know, funeral home,
Mhm.
hate to say it,
The thing about it, this really isn't commission business, though.
it's
Yeah.
not, but,
This is really not
We should
commission business.
adjourn,
yeah.
unless there's some other
Yeah.
topic.
Did we bring any resolution to this, or just keep it in the back of our minds?
Well,
it
it's
in
the
back.
society needs to
Okay.
decide.
Yeah,
It-
that would
it's
be
enough to
something for
us
the
anyway.
society
You
to
wanna
do or
keep
decide.
this?
We're on the
Or
society,
maybe-
guys.
Would you like me to,
We
I
are.
can send it to your email. I just printed it off because I moved it.
yeah,
So do
why
you
don't
want-
you keep it,
Okay,
and then if you would forward it to me,
yes, this is
Sure.
true.
then I'll have a copy too, yeah. And
Do we wanna
adjourn, yeah,
adjourn? I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
okay, all
Okay,
those
so
in favor?
Lucy, and did
Aye.
I hear a soft second over here?
Ellie, yeah.
Was it Ellie?
Ellie.
It was Ellie, okay. I couldn't tell without my
Gary, you
hearing aid.
voting to adjourn?
Aye.
Aye,
Joan, Janet?
Yep,
all
aye.
those, I think we're unanimous.